Hi, my needle drops. Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and wearing the Earth shirt today because I thought it was appropriate to do a review of the new Melvins album, The Bride Screamed Murder. Before I get too deep into this review, I just want to say the Chicago hip-hop outfit, The Cool Kids, actually have a new mixtape out. You can download it for free. There's a link in the D-Box. Check it out. Alright. The Melvins are one of the most significant rock bands of all time, influencing countless artists, from Boris to Tool to Mastodon, and playing a huge part in defining what we now know today as sludge metal. I'm going to spare you the minor details and the origin stories and all that crap, and simply say that if you're not into the Melvins, you could pretty much grab anything that they put out from the late 80s to the mid-90s. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. It's when the band put out their most career-defining work, really their best stuff. And in the entire scheme of things, this album is Melvins' 20th. Yeah. 2-0. And it's really got some classic Melvin sounds on it. Some dime stop riffs, really rough guitar distortion. Plus they carry on a lot of tricks that they were really pushing on albums like Nude with Boots, like doubling up on the vocals and making them sound really huge, really experimenting with vocal harmonies, pummeling drums delivered by not one, but two drummers, and concentrating on making their songs feel a little weirder, a little stranger, more complex, instead of submitting to the specific simplicities of sludge metal. And there's some pretty psychedelic moments on this album, too. The heavy, heavy fuzz on I'll Finish You Off really reminds me of how badass this band was in their prime. Or, I guess, since they're still kind of badass. Anyway, the heavy fuzz, the strange vocals on that track, too, which sort of took me by surprise, really made it feel like a very surreal experience. Throughout these 9 tracks, there are several moments where I found myself sitting there just thinking, wow, these guys could seriously still pen a tune. They could still pump out a memorable riff. It's just nice to know that after years and years of the Melvins just punishing our auditory senses, that they could still put a good dent in the old eardrum. The one thing I didn't really enjoy about the album is that there was a real pervasive ridiculousness on a lot of the tracks, especially on these really noisy transitional moments at the end of some of the songs where you hear some squelching horns, some really weird keyboard,
some freaky vocals.
It just makes me think the Melvins are trying to get away from their old sound, trying to redefine themselves as a band. They don't really want to do the same thing over and over and over, but instead of innovating, instead of just pursuing a new, altogether different sound, they're just trying to use absurdity to kind of drift themselves away from their older style. And it's not exactly functioning that well for me. There are some moments where this absurdity kind of drifts into some of the tracks on the LP. For example, the first song, The Water Glass, just starts off with really pummeling drums, really heavy riffs, really got me excited, but then it kind of broke into this militaristic call and respond routine that really was not working for me at all. But I think the most tongue-in-cheek moment of the entire album is, yes, there's a cover on this LP of The Who's My Generation. The vocals are really weird, the song is done in a really sludgy fashion, and it just feels a little like novelty. It just feels like a little bit like kind of a joke. As a whole, to tell you the truth, I'm kind of indifferent on this album, and I'm feeling a decent 5 on it. It's not awful, however, I'm not really loving it all that much. And before you go crying your eyes out, oh no, he gave it a 5, just, you know, come on. Come on. We know the Melvins are great. We know that their power is undeniable. However, they have put out way, 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 way better stuff in their career. Don't lie to yourselves. You and I both know this. Also, they've been a lot more consistent on their albums, too. But the Melvins are still to be worshipped and respected, and if you're into heavy music, if you're into heavy metal, if you're into loud rock, and you're not listening to the Melvins, you're seriously missing out, because these guys should be an essential part of any musical diet. So if you're looking for something strange, loud, distorted, an album that does not stay in one spot, or something that is going to allow you to explore the psyche of sludge, then by all means, give this a listen. And it also looks like, yeah, Yeah, there are a few Melvins fans watching. I see you. What do you think of this? Do you love it? Do you hate it? And why? And also favorite tracks. Alright, Anthony Fantano, the Melvins, The Bride Screamed Murder, Forever.